Hi, this is Bill Hartman from Sound Advantage, and welcome to Road Stories, where we get a view of the road from the crew behind the scenes. Today I'm speaking with Eric E.T. Tarleton, who is a road dog veteran of 27 years. E.T. has a story he'd like to share with us today.
I spent some time with Waylon Jennings back in the 90s, and I was with him when his first return trip to the Swan Ballroom in Crystal Lake, Iowa, since Buddy Holly had died. And you walk in the Swan and there are pictures of Waylon everywhere in there. And so Waylon was the kind of guy that if he was supposed to be on it at 8 o'clock, he was standing by the side of the stage at 5 till, always ready to go. Well, this night we were ready, and it came time to go on, and no Waylon. And we waited and waited, and an hour passed by, and still no Waylon. And finally, at an hour and 45 minutes past showtime, Waylon came out, and Waylon played 9 songs in a row before he ever stopped to say anything. And when he did, you could hear this quiver in his voice, and it was just so emotional for him. And so, you know, he made it through the show, but the whole thing, you could always tell there was like a lump in his throat. And during this tour, we went out to California about a week later, and I was out on stage, and these 2 women came up to the stage, and they said, "Excuse me, are you with Waylon Jennings?" And I went, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "We are women were Ritchie Valens' sisters, and they were small children when the crash happened, and they really never knew him. And they said, we were wondering if we could talk to Mr. Jennings, because he actually knew Ritchie, you know, and actually Ritchie was the one that taught Waylon how to play bass for Buddy Holly."
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because one night the bass player didn't show up, and Buddy walked through and pointed at Waylon and said, "You're playing bass tonight." And Waylon was like, "But I don't know how to play bass." And Ritchie goes, "Don't worry, me and you will go through it." And so here again, I went back to Waylon, and I said, "Waylon, there's 2 women out here, and they say that they're Ritchie Valens' sisters." And he looks at me for about 20 seconds. Doesn't take his eyes off mine. He goes, "Do you think they are?" I was like, "They are Hispanic." And he goes, "Bring them on back." And here again, come showtime, no Waylon Jennings. An hour goes by, still no Waylon Jennings. Waylon's back there talking to Ritchie's sisters, and just totally got into it, telling his stories. And about an hour and a half later, here he comes, and he just felt great. You could tell he'd been just pouring his heart out to these 2 women and telling them everything he knew about Ritchie.
Wow, that's pretty much a release for him then.
Yeah, yeah, and especially that happening in the same 2 weeks, going to the Swan Ballroom and then running into Ritchie Valens' sisters. Right. Yeah, it was a big deal for Waylon.
Wow, well, thank you, E.T. That's a great, touching story.
Hey, good luck to you guys.
Thank you very much. This is Bill Hartman with Sound Advantage. Please join us soon to see another story from the road. Thank you.